Hello, it's your boy Davidoff. After doing my ridiculous ladder prediction, it's time to do my ridiculous ladder predictor. So yeah, I'm doing all 23 rounds, all 198 games, all in one go. I did it last year, then the season got cancelled, it got postponed after round 1 and changed the whole fixture list. So that kind of became very redundant within a week. But I'm going to tip these games and hopefully this season is a lot smoother. Anyway, let's do this. Richmond, I think, will beat Carlton by 3 goals. Collingwood, oh, you know what? This I see as a Bulldogs win. Yes. Yes, Bulldogs are going to shock them at the MCG. Melbourne v Freo. Melbourne, I think. It's mainly because of Freo's, you know. I mean, they're not... They have gotten wins at the MCG, some good wins. But I don't trust them at the MCG. 15 points. Adelaide V Geelong. Geelong by 16. Essendon, unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But I think they will beat us in a close one. Brisbane will defeat the Swans by 20 points. North will beat Port Adelaide. Yes, they're going to win their first game, okay? They're going to win it narrowly by 4. I've already messed this up. This is going to be very wrong. The Giants, I think, will actually beat the Saints by 10 points. West Coast to beat Gold Coast by 16. Revenge from 2020. Carlton v Collingwood. That was an accident. But let's go back to that. You know what? I'm gonna stick with a Carlton win. I think this is the day, right? This is the year that Carlton overcome Collingwood, okay? We're going to be crazy with our predictions, alright? If I get it wrong, I get it wrong. I always get it wrong anyway, so I might as well just have fun with it, okay? But this is possible in my opinion. It is possible. Collingwood might probably win anyway, but it's possible, okay? It's possible. 7 points. Geelong to beat the Lions. Yes, Geelong to beat the Lions by 9. Sydney to lose to Adelaide, also by 9. Port Adelaide to beat Essendon by 16. St Kilda to beat Melbourne by 19. You know what? These margins, this is what's going to mess up my predictions, to be honest. The margins are going to kill me. Considering I'm not going for anything too extravagant, I keep going for similar margins. It's going to mess up the whole ladder, but I'm here for it. Gold Coast will beat the Kangaroos. Yes, they will. Unfortunately, I don't see anything special there from us. I really hope. Please, Hawthorn, prove me wrong. Please. I'm begging you. I would have worn a Hawthorn shirt today, by the way, but my green screen goes funny when I wear yellow. It's not even green, but it goes funny. For some reason, yellow doesn't go well on a green screen. Anyway, Western Bulldogs v West Coast Eagles, I think, will end in a Bulldogs win. They beat them 2020 as well, didn't they? Towards the end of the season. This time will be at the start of the season, round 2. I'm going to say 12 points. Freo in Perth will beat the Giants by 23. A bit much, but I think it's very possible. The Lions, you see, Collingwood do play well at the Gabba. They do play the Gabba well. But this time, it's time for the Lions. Lions by 3. I predict a close game there. North Melbourne to lose to the Dogs by 13. Adelaide, I think Gold Coast will beat them again. It's at the Oval though, so it's a bit different. You know what? We'll go for the Adelaide win here. Adelaide by 13. Richmond, they'll beat Sydney, 29. Essendon v St Kilda. To be fair, when Richmond win the flag, they do tend to start slow. Like, they tend to start slow and then they pick up. Then they smash the finals. So predict them to win comfortably in the early rounds might be bad for me. But they should win their games based on who they're playing at the start. Regardless, we'll carry on. Essendon. Essendon to beat St Kilda by 12. See, too many similar points. This similar margins. It's not going to go well for me, prediction-wise. West Coast to lose again. Actually, you know what? I'm just thinking about the game where Port Adelaide went there and smashed them in the rain. And I'm thinking maybe they might do that again. They're not going to do that again. But they might win. I think it's possible. I think, you know, the experience of last year will help them. They'll be confident. I'm going to go for the shock. Port just narrowly beat the Eagles over in Perth. Carlton, I think, will lose to Freo by 15. Giants against Melbourne. Melbourne to win by 8. I put the Giants in 14th. I've messed it up. Sydney are last. Where's Adelaide in the 8th? Yeah, I've messed this up royally. Please prove me wrong, but unfortunately, I think we'll lose to Geelong. You know what? I think we'll lose to them and then beat them after. We are playing them twice, right? So yeah, I'm pretty sure we are. We're going to lose one game against Geelong, at least. 10 points. Sydney v Essendon. Now, these two have a lot of close games. Not every game is close, but they do have a lot of close games. So, you know, I'm just going to keep that in mind. So I'm not going to put the margin any more than 10. Okay. I'm going to say in this one, Sydney win by 4. It's a tough one to call for me. Port Adelaide Richmond, this time round, Port Adelaide I think will win. I'm going to say comfortable as well, 22 points. I think they'll be making a statement in this game. Western Bulldogs against the Lions. I think it could go either way, honestly. I think it can go either way. It could really go either way. Lions, no, Dogs by 2. Dogs by 2. I'm not sure about that one. I am not sure about that one. St Kilda by 6 against West Coast. Yes, it's happening. The Saints are having a great season, yeah? Gold Coast. Gold Coast. We'll have a classic with Carlton, I think. Similar to the one they had quite recently. I'm thinking Carlton by 2 or Gold Coast by 3. Carlton by 2. Carlton by 2. Collingwood will beat the Giants at the MCG. 22 points. North Melbourne, I think will be Adelaide by 10. Melbourne, I think will lose to Geelong by 2. Another classic game between them, I think, you know. A repeat of 2018, please. I mean, apart from Geelong winning. But that 2018, was it 2018? When they had that massive classic where Geelong came back in the last quarter. That game was insane. I need something like that again between those two, except with Melbourne winning. Freo v Hawthorn. I've actually put us bottom. This shows my faith in my own team, but I just don't see it. Based on what we have in the first 3 rounds, I don't see us winning. Please prove me wrong, please. Please. And I think we'll lose this as well, unfortunately. Freo by 13. You know, it's in Perth. You know, we have won there against Freo, but I can't put backing in us at the moment. St Kilda v Richmond. You know what? We'll take risks. Are there to be taken, mate? Risks are there to be taken. Saints by 7. West Coast Collingwood. I'm gonna go for another Collingwood win in Perth. They've done it multiple times the last couple of years, so it's very viable. Pies by 1. Western Bulldogs will beat Gold Coast 16 points, I think. Sydney. Now, you know what? I got a feeling that the Giants will dominate this. I got a feeling about that. 28. Giants by 28. Carlton v Port at the MCG. Not at Marvel. Port to win. Port to win. Yeah, Port to win by 10. Yeah. They can play the MCG. You know, not the best away team there, but you know, they can do it. Brisbane v Essendon. Brisbane should win this. 17 points. Adelaide Freo. You see, Freo should win. You know, Freo should win. But this is the type of game that Freo lose. You know, they will beat Collingwood at the MCG, but they would lose this game. This is the Freo game to lose. It would be so Freo to lose this. I'm gonna say Adelaide by 5. Oh god. Yes, we're going to win a game. All right, I predict we'll win this one. I know we lost the last couple of years against Melbourne, but this time round it's happening. Okay, it's happening. We are going to beat the D's. I like the D's, but we're going to win against you, lads. Okay, it's happening. 8 points. Geelong v North. Yeah, Geelong by 18. Giants. I trust the Bulldogs. They know how to beat the Giants, apart from that finals game. But regular season, yes. 13 points. Geelong, I think, will beat West Coast again. You know, they like beating West Coast at home. Gold Coast. I think we'll defeat the Swans. You know, I predicted North Melbourne to finish very low, and I've had them winning 2 games. I have Sydney, Hawthorn, West Coast. Okay, I mean I think they'll be higher when we're done. Okay, when we're done they'll be higher. Okay, but somehow I've had West Coast lower than North Melbourne. Right. Yeah, I've definitely lost it, haven't I? Let me restart the camera, hang on. My screen record goes out of sync when you record past like 10 minutes, so I just wanted to reset just in case it went too out of sync. Hopefully it hasn't gone too much out of sync. Anyway, yeah, Carlton, I'm going to say they narrowly, very narrowly, only slightly, beat the Lions. And that puts them up to 9th. Very good. Melbourne v Richmond. I think it'll be a Richmond win. Richmond by 12. Did that change anything? I didn't see anything change there. Freo will beat North by 17. It is changing, right? I'm tripping. We should win this, surely. 21 points. Yeah, it is changing. I think it's just one of those games where it doesn't change anything. There's the last couple games. Collingwood Essendon. I predict a very good game. A very good game. I predict that it should be interesting. The Pies win this more often than not, don't they? We'll stick with the Pies for this one, but I think Essendon are a chance, and I think it will be close at the very least. You know, no matter how good or bad you're playing, when you're playing your rivals, you know, there's motivation. You know, not all the time. There are some teams that just get smashed anyway, but you know, there's motivation there. Port Adelaide, I think we'll beat the Saints by 17. Brisbane to beat Port. Oh, Port have got the last game of round 6 and the first game of round 7. That's interesting. Brisbane by 9. Yes, Brisbane by 9. Collingwood, I think, will beat Gold Coast by 15. Essendon beat Carlton, another intriguing rivalry. Carlton by 1. They do like to beat Essendon, so you know I'm gonna say they narrowly win. They like doing things the hard way as well, so that's why I said by 1 point, because that's a Carlton thing to do. If you're going to win, you're going to just win. You're not comfortable as Carlton, are you? North Melbourne against Melbourne. Oh yes, thank you AFL, thank you. I applaud you. We don't have to wait until round 18 for this game. I applaud that. The last 2 years we had to wait till the last round to see this game. I mean, come on. At least it's in round 7 now. Right. Okay. I'm going to say North win this one. Very narrowly. By the way, I got 10 days off work from Sunday. So, you know, Sunday round 1 and all of round 2. Let me know which games are good so I can do a full match reaction to them. I'll just be editing it down, obviously. You won't get a full 2-hour reaction, but, you know, be sure to request. Anyway, Richmond. It's at the MCG. They should defeat the Dogs. Should. St Kilda. Please tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me I'm wrong. St Kilda to beat Hawthorn. Sydney. This is going to be one of the shocks of the season. One of the big shocks of the season, yeah? Sydney to beat Geelong. Adelaide. Another shock of the season. Oh, I have messed this ladder up. I put West Coast. Okay, you know what? They're gonna win this. 29 points. There we go. They're not bottom anymore. Okay, I've redeemed myself. Gold Coast. Gold Coast. They do tend to lose to the Saints, don't they? Even when they do well. But I'm gonna say this time they win. Yes, I think that was 5 points I did that by. Giants. V Sydney. Sorry, Sydney, sorry. Essendon. I knew it was Essendon, and I still said Sydney. Ignore me. Ignore me. This reminds me of during AFL when I said Dockers when I saw Essendon Stadium. I'm just like... I remember editing that, I was just like, why did I say Dockers? They're not the Dockers. Essendon by 2. West Coast, sorry, Hawthorn West Coast. MCG, guys. MCG. We have a good chance at the MCG. This means that we'll lose by a point. Again. Was it by a point in that game? I think it was. Melbourne, Sydney. Melbourne by 8. North Melbourne beat Collingwood. Collingwood by 30. I don't know why. I'm thinking they'll go and smash this game. Richmond v Geelong. 14 points to Richmond. Western Bulldogs v Carlton. I think Carlton. I think it's possible Carlton win this, but no. Bulldogs by 14. Port Adelaide to beat Adelaide by 24. Freo to beat the Lions by 9. Essendon to beat Freo by 11. Gold Coast in the Q Clash. Yeah, this is like one of the rivalries that just isn't as exciting as the other ones, you know. It hasn't produced many classics. But Gold Coast are getting better. So I hope that means better Q clashes. Brisbane by 12. Hawthorn, I think, will actually beat North. 23 points. Melbourne v Carlton. Carlton by 7. Richmond will beat the Giants by 17. Quite not as much as the grand final, but they'll beat them. St Kilda v Geelong. This should be good. I think this is a game the Saints could win. I'm gonna say Saints by a goal. I have messed this up. I've definitely messed this up. Just looking at where GWS are right now. Oh dear. The 8 doesn't seem so bad though. The 8 doesn't seem unrealistic. Like those 8 teams, maybe not in that order, but if those 8 teams made the 8, I would not be that surprised. You know, that's possible, but this I don't know. The rest of it doesn't seem so bad. Just a couple of anomalies. Sydney to lose to Collingwood by 5. Port by 19 against West Coast. Against against the Western Bulldogs. Yes, that's what I meant. West Coast will beat Adelaide by 26. Brisbane will beat Richmond by 15. Carlton will lose to the mighty Fighting Hawks by 11 in a fairly close game. Collingwood, the Battle of the Magpies against Port Adelaide. MCG, so I'm saying Collingwood by 13. Essendon v North. Essendon to win by 9. Geelong to beat Gold Coast by 18. The Giants to defeat the Eagles. Yes, I'm going for that. 10 points. Western Bulldogs to lose to the Saints by 13. Adelaide to beat Melbourne. Yeah, I'm going for that. Adelaide to beat Melbourne by 19. Freo to beat Sydney by 33. Brisbane to beat the Giants by 26. Collingwood will beat Geelong by 20. Richmond will beat Adelaide by 30. The Saints will beat North, I believe, by 9. Sydney, I think, will beat Carlton by 4. I'm not sure about this ladder, guys. I mean, it's shaping up a bit more, aside from the Giants, maybe. Adelaide are 11th. I'm not sure I've done that. Western Bulldogs will beat Melbourne by 9. Gold Coast, I've got a bad feeling about this. I don't know why. You know what? Nah. We should beat Gold Coast. Right, guys? We're not that bad. You know what? Forget it. Forget the bias. I actually got a bad feeling about that game. Port Adelaide v Freo. Port by 14. West Coast to beat Essendon by 18. Carlton to lose by 2. Yes. Essendon to lose to Richmond by 9. Maybe a bit closer than you might expect me to predict that, but I'll stick with it. St Kilda to beat Sydney by 2. Adelaide to lose to Collingwood by 19. Also by 19, Brisbane to beat Melbourne. Freo to beat the Bulldogs by 11. Melbourne to lose to Collingwood by 18. North to lose to the Giants by 16. This is when the Giants realise they're a bit low down and they're going to start winning, yeah? I'm talking as if this will happen. I had to restart the camera again. You know, it's been over 20 minutes and, you know, we're just over halfway. Yep, nice long video for you guys. I don't know how long last year's one was, but this might come close. St Kilda will defeat Adelaide by 4. Please be wrong, please. Sydney to beat Hawthorn. Port Adelaide. Oh yeah, by the way, how do they generate the score? Like, how does that work? Like, when you go 9 points, how do they figure out this scoreline? Do they, like, do average? I don't even know how that works. Anyway, either way, you know, it's not a big deal. Port Adelaide v Geelong. Port by 7. You know what's happened here? I've gone for too many close games. Like, maybe like 2 games, 5 games maybe, have been over 20 points, the margin. That's not going to happen, is it? Like, teams are going to get smashed. To make up for it, I think Freo win this game by 34, yeah? All good. Geelong by 10 against the Dogs. Again, going for a close game. Well done, David. Port Adelaide by 19 against Gold Coast. The Giants, I think, will defeat Carlton by 2 goals. Please tell me I'm wrong, but unfortunately I think we'll lose twice to Essendon. Please be wrong, please. I'm begging you. Brisbane to win this by 17. I know they're not at home, but I think they'll win that comfortably. I could be wrong, probably will be wrong. West Coast v Brisbane. West Coast by 5. They're working their way up. Brisbane, I think, will beat Geelong here by 18. That puts them in 3rd. Okay, that's a pretty strong top 4. I can tell you that's a pretty damn strong top 4. That'd be quite a good top 4, to be fair. Carlton v Adelaide. Carlton. Yeah, Carlton. Narrowly, but they'll win. Collingwood. Like, Freo won at the MCG, you know, pretty recently. But this is not a DMCG, this is a Docklands. Nah. We shall stick with this. Okay, we shall stick with Collingwood winning. Yeah, 4 points. Essendon v Melbourne. Essendon by 15. Hawthorn to beat the Giants by 8. North Melbourne to beat Gold Coast by 10. Richmond to beat St Kilda by 23. I think I had them losing to St Kilda in the previous game, so that's like revenge, I guess. Port Adelaide to beat Sydney by 23. West Coast by 24 against the Bulldogs. Collingwood will beat the Saints by 9. Geelong should beat Essendon by 24. Richmond to beat Gold Coast by 33. Hawthorn to beat Port Adelaide, I feel, by 4. Melbourne to beat the Giants just by 7. St Kilda. It's right there, David. Sydney Swans v West Coast. Sydney, I think, will lose by 6. Western Bulldogs, I think, will defeat North by 16. We're going to go for a shock here. Yeah, Adelaide to beat the Brisbane Lions by 6. Screw it. Freo to beat Carlton by 19. Yeah. Brisbane to beat the Saints by 13. Carlton to defeat Geelong. Yes, by 5. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Essendon will beat Adelaide. The Giants will beat Gold Coast by 30. Hawthorn will beat Freo by 9. Richmond will lose to Collingwood by 23. Yes, the big shock. Western Bulldogs to defeat the Sydney Swans by 3 goals. Port Adelaide also to win by 3 goals against Melbourne. West Coast also to win, but actually, you know what? Screw it. Let's go for 27 points. 27 points. Collingwood v Carlton. This will be a close game, I think, but 5-point victory for Collingwood. Gold Coast against the Western Bulldogs will be a 14-point Dogs victory. The Giants, I think, will beat the Sydney Swans again by 18. Hawthorn. Hopefully in this game we can beat Melbourne. That'd be great. I've already forgotten what I put for the last Hawthorn-Melbourne game. Memory's that bad. I'm going to say 6 points to Hawthorn. Alright, I think we can do it. There's no way we're finishing 10th. So I've definitely messed this up. North Melbourne v Essendon, I think, will be... yeah, 5-point North Melbourne win. Richmond, I think, will beat the Lions by 20. St Kilda will beat Port by 8. Okay. Got Collingwood first. Not sure about that one, Chief. West Coast. 21. Might be a bit much away at the Adelaide Oval, but 21. Freo to beat Geelong by 5. Carlton to beat North by 3. Yes. GWS to cause an upset and beat the Dons by 1 point. Alright. Geelong to pull off the crazy against the Tigers. Gold Coast v Melbourne. Gold Coast victory by 13. Well, Melbourne is 17th. Jeez. The Lions always beat us. We did beat them last year. But, I think they'll beat us again. Unfortunately. Sydney, I think, will beat Freo by 5. Western Bulldogs will beat Adelaide by 14. Port Adelaide will beat Collingwood by 16. West Coast beat the Saints by 28. Brisbane beat Gold Coast by 41. Collingwood will lose to West Coast from a late goal, just like the other game that you may or may not know about. Essendon v Sydney, always a close one. I'm gonna say Sydney this time by 3. Probably crazy for going for this at Docklands, but we'll stick with the risks. All right, we'll take the risk. Okay, it's not the worst risk to take. It is a pretty bad risk, but we'll take it. The Giants to beat Port by 3, and that puts Brisbane in second again. I got Melbourne last. Wow, that's actually that's something. That's something. I think they'll beat the Dogs though. I think. Yeah, they'll beat the Dogs by 10. Oh, that puts Gold Coast last again. The team I predicted to be last is right there as well. Geelong to win this by 4. Keeps North Melbourne just there. St Kilda v Carlton. Go for a 6-point Carlton victory. This is a game that we would lose. We lost them last year, so got a bad feeling. Adelaide to win that. Freo. I always think they'll beat Richmond in Perth, but it never happens. So I just go for Richmond by 24. That puts them in second. The Lions, I think, will beat Freo as well by 15. That puts them in first. You know, a few people have them first in their predictions. Carlton v Gold Coast. Carlton by 13. Carlton by 13. Geelong v GWS. Not sure. Close one. Geelong by 3. Hawthorn v Collingwood. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll win this one, but we do have a good record against them at the MCG, so, you know, maybe we'll win, but at the moment, I'm not sure. Richmond v North. Richmond by 9. What? Wait, no. A bit more than 9. 25. Sydney v Saints. Sydney to win by 22 points. Where are Sydney? Oh, they're there. Okay. Western Bulldogs v Essendon. Bulldogs win by 15. I think that puts them in 7th. Slips Geelong down to 8th. Well, Freo actually in the 8th. Actually, no, wait, sorry. I read that wrong. It puts them up to 6th. And Geelong down to 7th, sorry. But Freo. I've got Freo in 8th based on my predictions. I don't think I remember predicting many wins for them either. Well, I mean, I predicted 10 wins for them, but still. Adelaide v Port Adelaide. I think will end in a 27 points Port Adelaide win. West Coast v Melbourne. I think will end in a 30 points comfortable victory for the West Coast Eagles. Been here over half an hour now, so let's actually get this done. Oh yeah, how often do you want to see this, by the way? Like, I'm happy to do this like every 5 rounds maybe. You know, it would be interesting to get perspectives. Especially, I definitely do it after the bye rounds for sure. And then when there's like a few rounds left, but you know, like before that, if you want any extra ladder predictors, let me know, because the seasons could change over a few rounds very easily. The whole complexion of everything could change, you know. A team you expect to do well could do badly, and the other way around, so you never know. Anyway, Collingwood Brisbane. Collingwood by 2. Geelong v Saints. I'm trying not to let ladder influence me, so I'm trying to, like, you know, trying to just predict and see what happens at the end of it. Geelong, I think, will beat the Saints by 9. Yes. Essendon will beat Gold Coast by 18. I predicted Gold Coast to win more games than 2020, and I've got them last. Yeah, about that. The Giants to beat Richmond. Obviously, they need to make the finals, so they'll be motivated. And Richmond have, you know, they've pretty much got top 4 now, or have they? Hawthorn v Western Bulldogs. I think we'll win this one. Yeah, no, actually, no, I don't. No. Melbourne will beat Adelaide by 21. North, I think they'll beat Sydney by 13. That doesn't change anything though, position wise. Port Adelaide v Carlton. I think we're in a 17 points Port Adelaide win. That demotes Carlton. Freo West Coast. I think West Coast by 20. And now we're into round 23. And looking at this ladder, it looks very interesting. To be fair, I think it's, in terms of like who I said for the 8s, I've got almost all the same teams. The main difference is Freo in there instead of St Kilda. Not in terms of position, but in terms of like who I got in the 8s, it's not too much different from my ladder predictions, interestingly enough. It's crazy how things work out, isn't it? Brisbane, I think, will win this one. So, well, that's by 6, so that puts them in 3rd, not 2nd like I predicted, but, you know. Richmond not in the top 4 right now, that's pretty crazy. Carlton, I think, will lose to the Giants by 8. That puts the Giants in the 8s. Well, well. Essendon v Collingwood. Collingwood. So what? I've got them in the minor premiership. Yeah, this ain't gonna happen. It's already screwed. This ladder is not. It's not accurate. It's not completely accurate. Geelong. 1 point. Unfortunately, yeah. Richmond in second now. Interesting. St Kilda v Freo. St Kilda by 3. So that knocks out Freo, and it also is not enough for the Saints to get into the 8. So I got the Giants in the 8 right now. You know, before I finish off, like, I got the 8, like, the 8 I predicted. It wasn't in the same order, but the top 7 I have in my 8. But it was just St Kilda instead of GWS. I had Freo, Essendon, and Melbourne. No, not Essendon, sorry, I had Melbourne just outside the 8 as well, with Carlton and Freo. Not the best, not the worst. Sydney to beat Gold Coast by 8. Western Bulldogs to beat Port Adelaide by 18. Adelaide to beat North Melbourne, I think, narrowly by 7. And that is it. That is 198 games tipped. And these are the finals that I have gotten. So yeah, let me get my ladder up. You're going to see it on the screen anyway, but I have to get up on my phone. Otherwise my screen recorder will stop if I change apps. Right, hang on. AFL Ladder. Right, I got Geelong in first. They're 7th, but they're in the 8th. Just not quite correct. Brisbane in 2nd. 4th here, so you know, in the top 4 at least. Port Adelaide 5th I had. They're 3rd here. I had West Coast 6th. They're 5th. I had the Western Bulldogs 7th. They're 6th. Okay, close. I had St Kilda in 8th and then 9th. I had Melbourne in 9th. They're down here. I had the Giants in 10th. Okay, I mean they made the 8 in this time, but you know, not far off my position wise. I had Freo in 11th. They're 10th. Okay, got Carlton in 12th. They're 11th. Gold Coast in 13th. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, Chief. Essendon in 14th. They are 12th. Adelaide in 15th. Oh, there's one that's accurate. Hawthorn in 16th. 13th here. Sydney in 17th. 14th. North Melbourne bottom, and they're 17th here. So a few similarities, you know. The 8 almost correct in a different order. So it should be interesting to see how the season goes. I'm sure both will be wrong, ladder predictor and predictions, but we'll see what happens. So let's have a bit of fun here. Let's say all of this happens somehow, and these are the finals. This is what I think will happen. This one's at the MCG, so unfortunately I think the Pies will win that one. West Coast, I think in Perth, will beat the Giants. The Western Bulldogs, I think, will pull off a crazy victory against Geelong in the finals, taking Geelong out once again. Richmond v Port Adelaide. It's at the MCG, so Richmond. If it was the other way around, I would have gone Port Adelaide, despite what happened in 2020. Alright, so that leaves this. We've got the Pies and Richmond waiting in the prelims, just like a couple years back. Or 3 years back. But you know what year I'm talking about. Right. I'm going to go for a narrow Brisbane victory. I'm counting on their finals experience here more than anything, but I'm going for a narrow Brisbane victory. Port Adelaide v Western Bulldogs, I think will end in a Port victory. And I think that based on how things go in certain seasons, I feel like it's destiny for these two teams to never meet in the final. It just never happens, you know. There's always something in the way. Collingwood versus Richmond just never becomes a grand final, okay? Just not in recent times anyway. So I think one of these teams will lose. It will not be a Collingwood-Richmond final. Richmond I think will win this one. I just haven't won the three-peat. No, I also have Brisbane losing the grand final, but you know, this kind of conflicts between that. But it's at the MCG, and Richmond at the MCG, especially in the finals, you know, they're almost unstoppable there. In the finals, they're unstoppable, literally, the last few years at the MCG. I just can't see Brisbane, a team who doesn't have the best MCG record, going there and winning against Richmond, so has to be Richmond. So, going by my own logic, the Magpies have to lose this game. So then it's Richmond Port in the final, ending in a Richmond victory. So there we go. Whatever I do here, I will end with Richmond winning. So it is what it is. This is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. And if you do your own ladder predictor, let me know what you got. You got it similar to mine or different to mine? You can let me know. Alright, goodbye.